on, came up out that uniform and threw on my new sweats. New sweats, new sweats. Working hard, got 2 jobs, Friday night, but thank you, Lord, there's 2 checks. There's 2 checks, 2 checks. Yeah. Game of spades, beer the flight. I'm talking 10 straight books. You goddamn right. Now who's next? Off my table. Who's next? Who's next? Yeah. Huh? I don't dance a boogie. Somebody tell a DJ put on my song. We grown and we want a 2-step. We want a 2-step. That's the new flex.
I rugged myself. Please, Crypto, welcome. What is going on? What?
The fact that you were just going off while muted was the funniest shit that I've seen. And look, I just got out of a Twitter Spaces for an hour talking about some cryptocurrencies, and I come in and this motherfucker over here is just going.
No,
how you do it, man?
Hey,
That is how you do it.
How you doing, man?
I'm living the dream, man. It's one of those days where you just it's all. Whew. So I got my show, I got this show, I got Henoch's going to be on my show at 8:30 tonight.
Oh wow!
And then we had Deca Mega Spaces at 6 o'clock. So it's just one of them.
Wow!
It's one of them party days, man.
One of them days, man. Well, I'm glad you can make it, man. I really appreciate it. I wasn't going to. This one wasn't going to be too long because this is not. This is just an introduction to some people that don't even know what TradingView is or what it even looks like, or maybe they just never heard of it. Period. You know what I mean? But I just wanted to just kind of show just a little bit of the basics of it because even myself, man, It's still, I really am just a Dex Tools person right now because, man, I've got so much going on, especially schooling with my work, work and stuff. It's just, I just don't have time to just continue to expand. That's why I bring experts on like you. So let me go ahead and pull this up real quick. Boom. Bam. There we go. So, yeah, this is, for everybody that don't know, if you've never heard of TradingView, tradingview.com. Of course, you can create you an account, blah, blah, blah. You see, I'm there, but, it's still one of those things I'm still learning on myself. Like I'm even still just in the basics because like I just said, I don't really have a whole lot of time in between a lot of stuff. Just like this guy down here. It is crazy the amount of stuff that we're into. So we don't just sit here and make videos, dude. We are in a lot of different stuff. Very busy, big people. So this is just the first look at it. This is the website, just the start of the website. You can scroll down. You can see some, you got market summaries right here. You got different, stories and stuff. This is you can get a lot of info from here. Just like if you go to Whale Watcher or anything like that, there's a lot of different info and a lot of different articles that you can come in, you can read and stuff like that. And a lot of it, for the most part, that I've seen is pretty unbiased versus what you would see, say, if you went to CNN.com or something like that. Is you see, oh, Bitcoin is crashing to the floor. It's what I'm saying. This is a lot of unbiased stuff and a lot of it's a different type of journalism, so to speak, if journalism is even a real thing anymore. Because
well, you'll get your share of bias, but you have to understand who it is that you're dealing with. Like when you're dealing with CoinDesk, CoinDesk is owned by the Digital Currency Group, and that's Barry Silbert. And that's the guy who had Genesis that just failed. So
I did not know that.
If you ever wonder why the articles on CoinDesk were constantly attacking Do Kwon while the rest of the market was like, we don't know what's going on, and why CoinDesk was telling you that he was about to be arrested and why that Interpol had a red notice out on him. And, you know, it was this constant stream of bullshit coming out of CoinDesk. None of it was true. And that's because Barry Silbert and the Digital Currency Group / Genesis, that just filed for bankruptcy, by the way, I might add.
Yes.
That's what it is. So, you know, generally you get decent information. I mean, you look at, if you ever check watcher.guru, Watcher Guru is a very fun site with a lot of up-to-date information, but they obviously, if you just took the time to watch it for a few days, they have a quota. So they have to do a certain number of articles, I think, for each person. So they really just kind of make up the news as they go. And they turn things that really shouldn't be news into news, but they don't say that, look, this is just my perspective. This is just my opinion of what might happen. Like they have issues too, but a place like Benzinga, Dow Jones, you get a little more of a straight sort of appeal. And that's why they're favored by TradingView.
Yes. That's what I'm talking about. That's why I bring the experts on, man. But yeah, if it
what about this?
I saw that. I saw that the other day. I was like, man, this man went all
off
the
and
way.
Let's go with the yeah.
Volted, baby.
You see this shit, Jake Gagan? You see this shit? I didn't need to. You see this, Pablo? I didn't need a bet, man. I did it for the love of the game, baby. Woo!
Hey, I heard that, man. I heard that. If it'd be easier for you to share your screen, or if you want to just kind of, I guess we can go through mine. It don't matter to me.
Yeah, we
just like just go through like a little bit of some charts and stuff, and just what to look at, just some basic stuff.
Yeah, sure. Let me present, and here we go. All right. So what you're seeing right here is your basic trading screen, and this is when you're just starting out. You're going to get this. What you're going to see if you're just starting, this is your first time on TradingView. This is going to be a stock window, and it looks the same thing. You're going to get maybe the Dow Jones or something like that. It all looks the same. It's all candlestick patterns for you to decide, like, you know, what it is that you want to do. I have a bunch of squiggly lines on here. If I close those out, this is basically what you're going to see. That's what it looks like. So in order for you to start importing, if you notice here, I've labeled on the right-hand side over here, I've labeled this category here, crypto. You come up here and you hit the plus over here, and then that pops up a little window here in front of you, and then you can choose what cryptos it is that you want to cover. Now, if you want to do stocks, you come over here to the stocks, funds, futures, forex, indices, bonds, economy, whatever it is that you want, whatever it is that you're looking for, they've got it for you. So then you come over here, you put in, for example, Bitcoin, BTC. These are the most popular, by the way. So you put it in, and then boom, now the chart's pulled up, and you pull up Bitcoin, and now you're looking at a Bitcoin chart. And this is your first time looking at the Bitcoin chart. This is what you're going to see. So, yes. And for anybody who is real curious, I'm going to zoom in. We're going to do it on the, we're going to do as close as possible here. You have two different colors. You have red and you have green. Red means that the price has gone down in an hour. Green means the price has gone up within the hour. Now, we're going to zoom in just a little bit more, and you can see that there's two types of, there's plenty of different patterns. But this red right here, this full sort of red area, this candle, as they call it, is the price from where it started. When it's red, it's the price where it started is at the top and where it finished is at the bottom. And then if you have a green candle, that means that the price went up in that period of time. And there's a bunch of different periods of time to choose from. So the starting price is at the bottom on a green candle, and at the top is where it ends. So you can see here, if you're just kind of tracking this. So over here, this big green candle went up here, and then it switched over here, and then it kept going up, then it switched over here, and then it went up a little bit more, and then it came back down. So then at the end of it, it swapped over here, and the same thing happened, and it went down again, and it swapped over here, and it went down again, and then it got to the bottom, and it came over here, and then it went back up again, and then it did the same thing. Now the wicks on them that's the price those are the extreme levels of where the price went. This is where it settled. This is where it settled. This is where it started. This is where it ended. This is where it started. This is where it ended. This is the extreme level of where the price went all the way up to. So if you look at this big green candle here, then you see that it's settled. And I'm just going to give you a number here. 28,430 is where it's settled. And it started at 27,949. But because this was a red candle, it probably went into the red coming down here. And you can see the wick settles down here at 27,836 down here at the bottom, which you can see right down here. And then up here, you see that it pumped all the way up to 28,486, which is up in this area. But again, it settled at 28,430. So that's what you're looking at. And that's what you see when you're doing this is, they give you kind of an idea of which direction the market is going. And you can learn simple things from it. Like, for example, those wicks that we just talked about, and I don't want to do that. Let's close that back out for just a second. A couple of those things that you can learn. For example, when you see one of these big wicks on the top of a chart and you see a bunch of green leading up to it, and you see it's starting to wick, that means that people are selling as people are buying, and that means that the price is probably going to go down. And then you see it over here 3 hours later, the price starts going way down. Then you see this crossover here. Then you see this wick happen over here. So that means the price is probably predicting to go back up. Now, if you don't see a strong wick, it might take a little time before you start to see an uptick, right? So then you see the actual big wick showing up right here, which means that that's where you're going to get some upside momentum. And of course, that's what you got. You got upside momentum. So watching charts is pretty easy. For example, if you look over here, Bitcoin price just a little while ago went up to 28,489, and the wick up here was real big, but the trading volume is real small. That means that the volume that we're trading right now is pretty low. And when that happens, that means that the price is probably predicting to go down because people are going to want to sell because they're scared. So
yes. Well, yeah. So, I mean, and see, a lot that really goes into a lot of stuff that even myself, I'm still trying to learn and trying to recognize these different patterns and stuff like that. And it's like, I see it and like my mind recognizes it, but explaining it in detail like you can is just it's I can't get it out. I can't convey what's in here.
Yeah, it takes a little bit of a time because for anybody that's ever listening to this, the one thing that you have to understand is that a candle on a chart, that's nothing more than an hour in history. So when you're looking at these things, this is an hour ago, this is 2 hours ago, this is 3 hours ago, and this is just a visual representation of what every investor in a specific index did. So it's just all summed up into a very small little piece, right? This is a massive amount of volume that you're looking at right here. This is probably in the hundreds of millions of dollars in the last 24 hours of buying and selling that have been going on. But it's all wrapped up into these nice little color patterns, and these colored patterns kind of tell you a story. And you also have these things called Forex patterns that allow you to look at certain ways that a chart is moving to give you an idea of what's going to happen. They have these things called pennants and flags and cup and handles. And this right here looks like a Bart Simpson right now. It's an upside down Bart Simpson.
Yeah, I can see. Okay, yeah, I got you.
It's a little upside down Bart Simpson head. A couple months ago, go over here. Here's Batman.
Ah, yes.
And there's the middle finger. There's the fuck you, I'm headed down symbol. Yeah, so you get all kinds of neat information tied up into just one little pattern of cryptocurrency that it tells you a story. Like, for example, if I'm looking at a story right now, the story that Ethereum is telling me is that it's probably going to have a move upwards, probably, because it's doing this right now. The high every hour is getting lower. The low every hour is getting higher, which means that it's going to go in a specific direction. Now, when it comes from the bottom up to the top, and that's where it consolidates, then you're looking right here. This is a bull flag. And that means that the highest probability is that it breaks to the upside. Now, when you zoom in a little bit, it's already broken to the upside. In fact, because what I did was I gave the benefit of doubt, but when you look at where it settled here and it settled here, and all of these things wicked up to it for a little while. And this is the first of a breakout move above this trend line. So the most likely scenario for this is to have this upside move and maybe even test 1859.
Okay, so even with like say you get reading the charts down pat and stuff like that.
That's a likely scenario, by the way. There's percentages to this. Like the highest percentage is that it's going to go up when you have a flag pattern like that. It doesn't always make it so. It can break to the bottom. Anything can happen in crypto.
Yeah, but because a news story could come out, or somebody important can say something, and all the signs point to oh, this is green, it's going up, and some important person somewhere says something negative about crypto, and it does the total opposite. So just recognize that as much as, like he just said, this is cryptos and it's very volatile. So as much as you can be a super expert, you still don't know what's going to happen 10 minutes from now or an hour from now. I mean, you get very good. It's very good educated guesses, just like doctors. It's educated guesses, but at the end of the day, it's still a mystery because nobody can predict the future.
Right. Most of the time, here's what I say to it is, if you're a shrewd person, then this will all make perfect sense to you, because what you're just doing is you're charting predictability patterns in human behavior. That's what this really all is. So news comes out. What happens when the news comes out? If it's bad news, people get nervous. What do? They sell into stuff. Yesterday, Jerome Powell came out and said 25 basis points, and that's where this started going. Everybody was like, oh yeah, here we go. Yeah. And then he started saying a bunch of things that didn't jive with what they wanted, and then the price just tanked completely, right? But that was an overreaction from people because he was sounding hawkish, and hawkish just means that he was sounding like things are bad. But he started saying that things were good after he was saying that, and it took some time for people to digest what he was saying. It took about 24 hours because the rest of the world heard his comments, and the United States market said, ooh, fuck this, we're going down. Yeah. And then the rest of the world said, 25 basis points, are you guys out of your fucking minds? You're a bunch of idiots, Jesus Christ. And they started buying it up. And then you get to this point this morning. It was about 8 o'clock. Shit. It was about 8 o'clock this morning. And you see this right here, this 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock, you see this move right here when the market opens, where Ethereum just goes out of its mind, catches up to where it was the day before, and then all of a sudden it blows past it and goes all the way back up to the top. And here's another pattern. Sometimes a crypto does crazy shit, like it stops itself in weird places. Like in this situation, and I'm going to do the day chart here because it looks crazier when you see it this way. For the last little while, and you're looking for patterns. Again, this is just patterns in human behavior. But if you see here, we've hit this line right here, and this line's just a magical line drawn on. That's all it is, just a magical fucking line here. But the price hasn't gone above it. Over here, days and days and days before, the price didn't go above it. Days and days and days before, the price didn't go above it. Days and days and days before, the price didn't go above it. Now, let's move down to, this is 2000. We're in 2022 now. This is, I want to say that this is September and October, because I started in September. Yeah, so this is September of 2022. Didn't go over, went over, but wicked all the way back down and settled within that line. A couple more times, it hit that line and then just kept, and then came back down. Then it came back down, did the same thing on this line over here, which is using as support and resistance. Then it had a breakout moment. When it had the breakout moment, it went up and over, and it started to hit some resistance from some previous highs. But then guess what happened? Then it collapsed back down, and then it started using this bottom area, which was right here. It started using this bottom area again as the support and resistance lines until such time as it came right back into that channel. And then what did it do? Then it came right here and did the exact same thing again. This is a developing pattern, and it is a long-term pattern that's showing you exactly how people are trading Ethereum over an extended period of time. And at some point you look at it and it becomes obvious. So then you have to make determinations like, what do you think is going to happen with it? Well, you start pulling it out here and saying, well, if it's doing all this, then the logical trajectory goes out here. And if it's doing this down here, then the low potential, again, this is just potential at this point, but the low potential trajectory is going to be the same. It's going to be like right here. So now when we look at this and we pull the data, and we're looking again at a pattern, this is just guesswork at best. This does not mean it's going to continue doing that. As you can see, at any moment, it can break out, and it can break out over here. So it doesn't stay this way forever. But the logical path here is that we come back down here and test 1500 one more time somewhere, or we go up here and test 1980. We could like move along here, but generally speaking, if we are on the top side and we're bullish within this pattern, by July, we're trading at 2,400 Ethereum. So this gives you an idea. Unless there's a breakdown in the market, this is the pattern that you're probably going to follow.
That's amazing, man. That is amazing. Hey, and if you
no guarantees, no guarantees.
Well, if y'all don't know, Bleeze is always right. So no, but seriously, man. Hey, man, you are very, very, you are very brilliant at what you do, man. And I honestly got to say, man, been watching you for a very, very long time. And, a lot of the stuff you say, and it's like, you can go back to some of your videos. It's like, oh, look, I said this is going to happen in this video.
Yeah, I do like victory laps. I do like taking my victory laps.
Yeah.
Look, yesterday the world was telling you that crypto was going into the shitter, and I was like, listen, guys, it's not. Like this is not going to happen. 30,000. I told you 30,000. I wasn't bullshitting you. It's going to be 30,000. And what happened? It came down here. Well, this is not even. Goddamn, it's not even the spot. The hours. It came down here. It tested some resistance. Wait a minute. No, I gotta get the hour one here because it's easier to look that way. Tested some resistance over here because it crashed down because of the American market, and then boom, it started getting bought back, and then it just got sent. And then before you know it, we did not get 28,009. By the way, 28,919 is the local high. Today we got back up to 28,841. And I was on the phone at the time with Cryptobolics. I don't know if you know him, but he's Bolix token. Okay. Yes. So I'm on the phone with Cryptobolics because he made a trade the other day. And I thought, dude, you fucked this up, man. No, you shouldn't have done this. Because I said, and I'll tell you what it is. He tells me he doesn't think that Bitcoin, he doesn't think Ethereum is coming down from right here. And I'm like, bro, look at these wicks. It's always coming down. When you see big wicks like this, that means that the sell pressure is too much. And he's like, no, bro, it's still going up. It's still going up. I'm like, it's not going to continue going up. So we were entering trades together, and that's what we were doing. And he said, I'm going to enter at 1816. I said, all right, man, you do you. I am not going to enter until this shit dumps. Because I knew it was going to dump. Yeah. And actually, let me rephrase that. It was over here. This is where it was. This is where we were talking about it. So we had decided, and I was like, these wicks over here, like these are bad wicks. It's coming back down. He's like, no, it's not coming back down, dude. It's going back up. Look at these candles. And I'm like, there's no life left. And he was like, okay, so I'm going to get in here and you get in where you think you can. Well, I got in at 1780 down here while he was up here. And then I was able to come over here and take a few $100 of profit off of 1780 up to 1820. That gave me about $500 and something in profit, while he's still sitting there waiting to get back out because he's stuck in this trade. We get up to where he can get out, and then it just tanks. The whole market just tanks. And I'm like, well, this is a buy zone for me. So while he's doing his play, we're talking about, I'm like, I'm making this play right here. And the next thing I know, now I sold right here at like 1830, because I was done when it started to slow down. Like this wick started to slow a little bit. So about 1830, I was done. I didn't ride it all the way to the top, but I made another $1,100 off of that move.
Nice.
And then he ended up, look, he made way more than me because he sold it like 1842, 1850 up here at the top. And he's using way more than I'm using. So, but it was hilarious because we're on the phone. I'm like, dude, it's going down. And he's like, no, it's not going down, man. Dude, it's going down. No, it's not going down. And then he calls me and he's like, God damn it, it's going down. And the thing about it is, again, and I bring up the word that matters is shrewd. You have to be shrewd with your money. Remember, if you play this game, if you're playing cryptocurrency, what you're doing is you're not playing a game of make money. You're playing a wealth transfer game. And everybody who's really good at the wealth transfer game is very shrewd about their decisions. And they use the things that are on my screen right now. They use these windows here. Now this window has already broken. You can see this little green arrow right here, this little area right here. We might as well cancel that one because it's bullshit at this point. But then we need another rectangle, and we need that rectangle to be in this area and then in this area. Now we've created.
Okay.
So if you see that, that looks like a perfect trading pattern, right?
Yes, it does.
So if we just consider that this is going to be our area for a little bit of time, and that it'll wick up here and do that. We'll zoom in just a second. But if we just consider that this might be a good area, and let's lock that in place, that this is now our trading zone. And the question is, how much money could we potentially make in this trading zone until it pops out of that trading zone, right? And that's what we're asking. And what we're looking at is this green line is a 200 SMA. That's the simple moving average. And that is the average settlement rate for a specific way of looking at the settlement on charts. You're looking at the last 200 days on average. This would be where it settled. The 50-day, if it's the average settlement of the last 50 days on or the last 50 candles. It's not the last 50 days, it's the last 50 candles, but this is telling you the average location of this many candles or this many candles, right? So you can see these are converging back together, which is bearish, by the way. When the 50 is over the 200, that means it's a bull sentiment. You see here, you got this crossover right here. When you got that crossover right there, you immediately saw this run.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you saw it continue to run and continue to run and continue to run and continue to run. Well, now you're starting to see these catch up to each other, which means that we're due for a correction. And that would be a correction to the downside. So that's what you're looking for on these charts. Now, the next step is you have this down here, which is called a MACD. This is the money. I'll tell you what it means. It's moving average convergence divergence. Okay. The red tells you that money is flowing out of the market. The green up here tells you that money is flowing into the market. The orange line that's running across this is called a signal line. That signal line is basically, it's kind of like the 200 SMA. It's just going, it's oscillating through about the middle of each one of these financial moves. So you see here, when you got a bunch of green up here, it goes higher and higher and higher. And then when you get a bunch of red, it goes lower, lower, lower. And it just kind of runs. Now, the blue one here, that is an RSI, and this is the 12-day RSI. So now you're looking at 12-day RSI, and when it goes over, we go green, and money comes in, and you see a pump like this. So all you have to do is follow your signals. And then the final one that I'm using is the weekly moving average, which is the 200 right here, which you're going to see comes up quite a bit. These moving averages are computer algorithms. And when you're trading with bots and computer algorithms, they're following these patterns themselves. So all you're doing is doing what a bot's doing, is you're just basically watching these certain patterns to see how they play out on the charts. So, but anyway, enough about that.
Yeah.
We're trading now. We're trading now in this pattern. So this is what I mean is you can see we wicked out here, but we did settle inside this green area, right? And we wicked up here to the top of the green area. We wicked up to the top of the green area, the top of the green area. So this is our trading zone. And we came down here. We bounced off of this 200 SMA. We broke down below the 200 SMA and we broke right into here. So this is a fairly good area. Now, what is the percentage of increase that we could get if we successfully trade this area? If it comes down one more time, then what we're looking at is looking at a dump down to 1720. Now, how much is that worth? It's from 1720 up here to the top. That is a 7.5% move. So now you have to ask what you're willing to risk on that 7.5% move, because if it continues doing what it has been doing, you're going to get an opportunity down here. So you got an opportunity down here. This is what the 17th, right? So 6 days ago, you got an opportunity. And then on the 21st, 2 days ago, you got an opportunity. Yesterday, you got an opportunity. Are you going to get another opportunity? So that's what you're looking for when you're looking for a chart. Like these are the things that you're looking for when you're trading, is you're looking for these kind of opportunities, because sometimes it's really good to have a boring chart because it's easy to read. You don't have to worry about a moon boy, anything like that. Here's what you do. Take $5,000, buy at the bottom of this, sell at the top of this. How much do you make? 7% of your money. So if you put 5,000 on it, that's 7.5%. That's $370. So you made $370 if you just wait it out. And if it doesn't take, like right here, if it takes 24 hours like this one did, then you made $350 off of 5,700 in that period of time. Same thing over here. You got about 7%. So it's $350, less your fees, which you're probably gonna run about $30. You make $300. So you could make $300. You could have made $900 with $500 just by trading this.
Hey
now,
man,
wait. I'm gonna make it fun for you. You ready? So let's just say that you saw this and you recognize this and you entered here and you took a long position right here. And then you found your top over here, right? And you sold, and then you picked up a short right here. So you made $350 here. Now you've shorted it and you didn't lose anything because it just took a few days, but then it came back down here. So you made another 350 right here. Then you went long again and made another 350 right here. And then you shorted it. You made another 350 down here. And then you came back up here and you made another 350 right here. So now,
man. Wow.
So now your $900 is $2,000.
Yeah. Wow. See, I haven't even begun to even all the shorts and longs and stuff, man. I haven't even begun to even test the waters on that, man.
So here's the other part. Let's say, let me pull up MEXC. Let's say you're trading on MEXC, right? You can do futures, M-Day, and they have competitions, by the way. They have futures competition. So let's just say we're going to do some leveraged trading, okay? Now, I'm not going to log in because I don't want y'all to see how much money I have, but we're going to do some, we're doing some futures overview, and now we're going to do we're going to use USDT as our collateral. Okay. So now imagine that we did the same thing with 20x leverage. You see what this is over here?
Yeah.
So we're risking 5,000. So we're saying that we're willing to gamble $5,000 and we're willing to borrow 20 times that amount in order to settle this out. Okay. Now let's go back over here to the chart. So we're going long here, right? And what we're betting on, what we're betting is that the price is not going to go down enough to liquidate us. Okay. So if you're buying with 100,000, then you can buy, it's easy to do it with this 2,000 because you're buying 50 Ethereum, right? Yeah. So basically, here you're buying about 60 Ethereum, I want to say. So with 60 Ethereum, you have some positions here where, let's say if you're doing this and you're going 20x on this play, and I know this is making you nervous, but you're going 20x on this play, right? And you've got $5,000 that you're risking. So the price of this has to go down to where you would lose $5,000 before you get what they call stop loss. Now, if that stop loss happens, you lost your $5,000, right?
Yeah.
But if it doesn't happen, then you went up to here and then you exited your position here. And you remember you made $350, right? We called that already, right?
Yeah.
But now you had 20x leverage. You made $7,000 off of your $5,000 for that. Then, yeah. Then you went back in and you shorted it. And it took a little while. And you had a few nervous moments over here where you're like, oh, shit, I'm about to get liquidated. Oh, shit, I'm about to get liquidated. Yeah. But you never got liquidated because it's 1837 and 1847. So you consider it's $10. And it's $10 on 60 Ethereum. That's about $600, right? You're not even close to getting liquidated yet. But you're like, I don't like seeing it going up. I want it to go down. And then all of a sudden, here you go. Now you're going down. Now you're going down. Now you're going down. And you find this 200 SMA. And it's another 350. So now you've made 7,000. Now you've made 14,000. Now you're about to make another 7,000. Now you're about to make another 7,000. If you just call it right. If you call it wrong, when you call it wrong, you get liquidated and your ass out the money. But if not, and you call it right, and you use the tools that you have in front of you at your disposal, then you make out like a bandit. There's so many stories of people who taken long positions and gone like 100x or some crazy number. Like imagine if you went 100x on $5,000. That means that you're borrowing $500,000, right? So you're investing literally $500,000, and the margin that you have is only $5,000 on that play, which means that it can't go down hardly at all, or you'll get liquidated, right? But if it goes up on that 100 leverage, you just made $35,000.
Wow, man. There's so much to this.
There's been some people who have made obscene amounts of money by predicting this shit and doing it at just the right time. Mm-hmm. And when you get in here and you hit your leverage positions, and here's the thing, when you set it up, you have your limits and you have your triggers. So like you're going to put in how much you're willing to risk, and then you're going to put in well, it doesn't show it right here, but when you get rid of this shit right here, and you're doing a long or a short, when you're doing either one of those, then you're setting prices down here so that you don't liquidate everything. So like if I'm going to do it, and by the way, you can go here isolated, and you can go all the way up to 200x here. Dangerous, but you can do it. But if you did 10x, if you just did 10x a couple of times and tried it out with a few bucks just to see what happens, to see how well you do in the market. It's basically paper trading with $100, right? Yeah. You can't go too far, right? Because $100 is very easy to figure out, right? So let's say you go 100, let's say you do $100 and you do 10x, right? That means that the price of Ethereum can't go up or down $10. If it goes up $10 and you're shorting, then you're going to get liquidated and you're going to lose your $100. So if I'm right here at 1836 and it goes up here to 1846, then I got liquidated right before it goes all the way down.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you don't have a whole lot of leverage there when you do that. So you have to be very, very careful. But, the possibility certainly exists. Now, and you could also, from 1835, you could have stopped yourself out at 1798 and said, you know what? I'm up $400 on my $100. I'm taking this and I'm just liquidating it and I'm taking my profits and I'm done. Right. And then you can settle the trade because you're borrowing from somebody. That's what staking is all about. You're borrowing their crypto in order to make that trade. So you settle that one up and then you're like, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to wait and see what happens because this did not go all the way up like it should have. I mean, again, let's go back over here and look at it because these things are specific and they do matter sometimes. It didn't wick all the way up here. So if you liquidate out here and you're like, you know what, I'm just going to wait and see what happens. And then you see it wick up here. Then you're like, okay, this is my short right here. And then you let that short play out all the way down here. You could take profit there. You could also ride it back up and you could ride it back down and you could ride it back up and you can ride it back down, especially when you're leveraging.
Wow, man. Obviously, some of these people in these big I would say companies that are doing it wrong. that's why they're foreclosing and shutting down and bankruptcy and everything.
So they're not losing their asses based on that. I mean, people lose all the time, but you got to here's
for the most part. I mean, that's pretty much what they're doing. They're so just like you said with staking and everything. If you got your money, your funds in their exchange or whatever the case may be, they are using those funds to do exactly this, right?
No, it depends on who you're doing it. Centralized exchanges, not really. FTX overseas, most fucking definitely. They gave the money to Alameda so that they could do this shit. Yeah. But what you also have to consider is that the reason these places are failing is because they're loaning people. People are giving you look. So I give you 100 Bitcoin and I take out a loan for $600,000, right? Well, I just fucking default on the loan because Bitcoin's only worth 28,000 now. So you have to default on me and take my Bitcoin, but it's only worth 28,000 right now. So I made $300,000 on that loan with you. Too much of that is what was going on with these.
Gotcha.
Because the price of this crypto is going down, 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 down. So, and there's a combination like investors not investing properly, and loans just going belly up and bad. And, you get one company that doesn't pay back one company. And then that one company is now out that money. Can they recover from it? Well, normally, yeah, you can recover from it. But what if you are on your margin anyway, and one of your guys made a bad call and now you have no money and people are cashing out? Gotcha. You know what I mean? Like people are taking their crypto and they're going away. You now don't have the cash to settle up some of the debt you have for some of the stuff you've done, and now you're liquidated.
Gotcha. Wow. Man, this stuff goes so deep. And for those that's watching, I know we said this is some basics of stuff, man, but hey, it's almost one of those that you have to keep going down the rabbit hole to show how extensive this is and how much that there is that you need to learn in order to even, to do these educated guesses and stuff like that. Because like I said, there's no telling what's going to happen in the future.
Well, so here's the crux of it. YouTube, right? Think about how everybody on YouTube that you know of, think about how they got rich. Now, did they get rich from doing exactly what I'm telling you? Because nobody talks about that, right?
Yeah.
You know how they got rich? One day, a long time ago, I bought Shiba Inu, and then one day it went up and lost a whole bunch of zeros.
Yeah. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. That happened to me on a couple different tokens. So you know what I mean? It's like, hey,
right.
But even after that, you know what I'm saying? It's one of those things like I continue to do little trades and stuff here and there and everything. But for the most part, a big chunk, it's just sitting there because I really like this right here. I don't have the knowledge enough to actually utilize what I have just sitting.
Yes, you do. What I'm saying? Yes, you do. It just takes you sitting down and looking at this chart and saying, why does this chart work? Why does this chart not work? like this. So these spots that I had right here, you can see they're bleeding out right here.
Yeah.
So like all you have to do is decide like what is the channels that you're trading in, right? And where are you going? Like what are the channels that you're trading in? And when you're outside of that channel, the odds are you're going down into the next channel. You might come back. If you come back in, start trading in it again. You know what I mean? Make your way up, make your way down, make your way up. If it doesn't go all the way up, it's probably coming down. It's probably going to break. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you can see these things. You just have to follow them. Remember, when a big up happens, a big down usually follows. So you know, as long as you're just paying attention to what the market is doing, then you're fine. Now, the other flip side to that coin is, the smartest investor on the planet is a guy who doesn't do what I do. That doesn't do flips. And like I'll show you right here. Here's a guy who doesn't do a whole lot of flips, or he does, but not a ton of them. And it's one of the holders in Volt. See that right there? Volted Ranger. That's Ozzy. Ozzy's Volt, $1.7 million.
Wow.
And he doesn't give a fuck about that. Because he knows that it's going to go, because all he has to do is hold long term.
Yeah.
Right. If you come down here, you can see Pablo. I think Pablo's on page 1, or he was on page 1. I'm not sure if he still is. Yeah. So Pablo's down here with $328,000.
Yeah.
Look, we all got in cheap. I'm telling you right now, we all got in cheap on Volt.
Yes.
So, but all they have to do is just hold. That's it. That's it. So you're gonna be successful by doing that. It doesn't mean, look, they're going to make life-changing money. They're going to make generational wealth. But if you want to own the company, then you long it and you short it, and you long it and you short it.
Yeah.
You don't do it. And that's just how you do it.
Yeah.
I struggle with it all the time, because I like longing and shorting to me is just like, I hate betting against something to succeed. Like, I do have a problem with that. So I'm not a fan of betting against the success of something, but it is a necessary evil, and it is part of the game. So
yes.
The other side to that coin, though, is just throw some money at something and just hold on for dear life and see what happens. Because sometimes you're going to get a Saitama, you're going to get a Shib, you're going to get a Volt, you're going to get one of those moves that is just life-changing. And all you had to do was just sit there and do nothing and get lucky.
And I like to say, I need to start learning how to do this a little bit more, because I've did very well on a lot of just DJing plays and stuff like that. And it's one of those things. It's like, I'm tired of throwing, even though hey, I'm not doing bad, you know what I'm saying, but just throwing money at Turk coins, it's like, I'm really wanting to get more into what this is. Like, I want to make that, those type of trades, and like be an actual trader, not just a DJ and getting lucky every once in a while.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, this is very educational, you know what I mean? So, it just goes to show that I really, even myself, even those may be watching, it's like, oh, you know what? I can grasp this. I can understand this, because, like I say, I've been scared of it for a very, very long time, because it's like, there's so much into it, and it's like, it just makes you nervous. But like when I bring somebody like you on that can explain it in terms that I can relate with, I'm like, okay, I'm catching that. I may not have caught it all, but the more I watch this video, because I'm definitely be rewatching it myself. The more I rewatch the video, the more I'm going to retain, and it's going to make me a better investor. Just like I try to tell anybody, you have to learn different aspects of crypto. That DYOR doesn't just pertain to coins. It pertains to a lot of different aspects in the crypto space, and that includes trading. So, this is part of my DYOR, and bringing somebody on that helps to show the way, you know, and it's very, very appreciated.
Yeah, I'm happy to come on, and certainly happy to talk about it. And I spend a lot of time. I spend a lot of time. I spend a lot of time talking to people about, you know, look, I'm not always right. I'm not always right about stuff. I do say I'm always right, but that's not true. You know, I'm not always right about everything. And I'm lying about that. I am always right.
I knew that was coming. I knew.
But yeah, I'm not always right about everything. That's a slogan. That's not, it's not.
Yes,
real.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, anybody it's just, but hey, look, but honestly though, man, you know, anybody in their right mind wish they had a fraction of your knowledge, man, because you are very knowledgeable in this space. And you know, more people need to definitely take heed and listen to some of the things you're trying to teach. Because like I say, whether you're right or wrong, you are still handing out knowledge, and that's half the battle. You know what I'm saying? If you can help one person become a better investor and become more knowledgeable in this crypto space, you are succeeding. You know what I'm saying? So big hats off to you, man, because you are doing it big. And especially with me, man, because like I say, I'm every time I bring you on, and even some of the videos when you just be posting, man, I'm constantly watching that stuff, man, because you are constantly handing out knowledge to people, and we need way more of it.
Well, I do what I can to try to tell people what they need to know. Not everybody, and by the way, not everybody's is like you'll see me fighting and arguing with Faltron. Faltron's, I don't dislike Faltron, but see me arguing with him on he's a flat earther. Like, oh, that's all right. Strike 4. You know what I mean? Fuck that guy. Strike 4. But he's still my guy, right?
Yeah.
Even if he can't add, right? But he also has been shorting all this time and keeps telling me, "You're wrong, man. It's going down. You're wrong. It's going down." Bitch. This is month 4 of that victory lap.
Yeah. Hey, that's what I'm talking about.
I mean, I told everybody where it's going. I told everybody what's going to happen. And now I'm telling you, if you're listening right now, once we hit 30,000, and we will clear 30,000 probably after this weekend. Once we clear 30, we might even do it this weekend or tomorrow. You know, you might get a rush. One of the things you have to realize is that people, if you can push and you get a nice push of capital coming into the market, and you can wreck some shorts, you can do anything. You can push it up over 30,000. There has to be a correction coming at some point soon, but that correction is probably going to be very quick. It might wick down to like 23,000 over a day or two, and then it's going to be off to the moon. We're going to be at 40,000 very soon. And there's a lot of people. Selmo Fudd, I don't know if you remember him, but he runs around some of these channels. Selmo Fudd is out here telling everybody it's not going to 30,000. Dude, I'm going to dog walk you over this one, because you can't tell me that it's not. It's getting ready to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's inevitable. Bitcoin is inevitable. Cryptocurrency is inevitable. There's nothing that anybody can do to stop it. And the way that the SEC is trying to stop it right now is they're trying to get rid of staking, which is fair enough. I mean, if there's anything that I would consider to be a security, it would be staking, because you are offering somebody more. You're promising somebody more.
Yes.
Of especially a stable coin. If you're staking a stable coin, that is a security. In my mind, the end. Like, that shouldn't even be that's not even how. That is the Howey test. So, but not everything is. That the fact that the SEC is looking at Coinbase's wallet, that's where SEC is overreaching and overstepping. Absolutely. They are stepping into DeFi right now, and they're trying to do a full-on attack on crypto. So, But anyway, I got to go because it is my time to tuck all y'all in with that sweet, sweet, juicy knowledge that you need from the Bleaves Crypto channel.
That's what I'm talking about, baby. So, yeah, and on that note, we're going to go ahead and shut this space down. I really appreciate Bleaves, man. Very, very knowledgeable guy. Very, very appreciated. And, you know, he just all around great guy, in my opinion. And, you know, with these spaces, man, I'm going to continue these spaces and continue just trying to get knowledge out there for all of our current investors and future investors that will be entering the space. And with that being said, we will see you next time.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yeah, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit.